Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, we are going to be making a Savoy cocktail book classic, the Corpse Reviver. Now, over the last decade or so, the Corpse Reviver No. 2 has been incredibly popular, but we're going to be taking a look at the OG, the original Corpse Reviver No. 1. In this video, we're going to take a look at the cocktail family that the No. 1 lives inside of. We're going to make the cocktail, and stay tuned to the very end because we're going to use that cocktail family structure to come up with our own fun, modern twist on the Savoy classic. Hi everybody, I'm Chris from A Bar Above. I'm a 15-year veteran in the bar and somebody that loves making fun and creative cocktails. Now we're going to make the Corpse Reviver No. 1 in a moment, but before we do, let's quickly talk about its cocktail family. Now when we take a look at the ingredients, it fits squarely in the martini cocktail family. Now just as a refresher, the components that we're working with in this family are going to be a base spirit, a fortified aromatized wine, usually in the form of vermouth, and bitters of some form. Now, if you go to investigate kind of the history of this particular cocktail, you may come across two different versions. You have the Savoy version, and you have something called the Gilbert version. Let's go ahead and start off with the Savoy version. So with the Savoy cocktail, you're actually going to have one base spirit, but it's split into two. It's called a split base. So you have Cognac, which is a grape-based brandy, and you have Calvados, which is an apple-based brandy, sweet vermouth, and finally orange bitters. Now the Gilbert version uses the same exact structure, but instead of the orange bitters, they use absinthe in its place. And this was a fairly common practice during the day. So whenever you took out one ingredient and replaced it with either absinthe or maraschino liqueur, you had the ability to call it the improved version of something. And I think that's exactly what we see here. Now later on, when we make our own kind of modern twist, we're gonna pull elements out of both of these cocktails. But for now, let's make the classic Savoy cocktail book version of the Corpse Reviver No. 1 together. We're going to start off by building everything inside of this mixing glass. So here we go with our Cognac, our Calvados, glug, 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 sweet vermouth, and finally our orange bitters. So I'm just going to stir this a little bit longer. I really want the dilution to set in. Since this is a spirit-forward cocktail, this is the water that's going to bind this whole cocktail together. And with this style of cocktail, you don't have any garnish. So there we have it, the Corpse Reviver No. 1. Now let's go ahead and try it, shall we? Cheers. This is a classic for a reason. It is balanced, there's a lot of flavor, it's delicious. And if you like Martinez's or martinis or Manhattans, you should definitely give this one a try. Now to make our modern twist on this, we're gonna get a little bit crazy. We're gonna do a lot of split basing across the entire spectrum here. So we're gonna start off the same exact way with our mixing glass. Now in our original, we started off with Cognac and Calvados, but right now we're gonna do a really nice light Fijian rum. Now this is gonna add that tropical note in here that we're kind of going after, and also some caramel and vanilla notes as well. Next, we have a really delicious Cognac. Now this one is, I believe it's matured on an island, so it has a nice hit of salinity and some tropical notes as well, so they're kind of reinforcing each other. Next we have Lillet, and this is kind of taking the place of our vermouth. It has a really delicious kind of dense orange flavor to it, and a slight bitterness as well. And Benedictine. Now this is one of my favorite liqueurs to work with. It doesn't get enough love, but it has a nice kind of sweet herbal kind of quality that's going to add a lot of character into this cocktail. Then we're going to go and do some of our orange bitters. And this is where it gets a little bit fun with some pineapple. So this is a homemade pineapple tincture. And finally, a dash of absinthe. That is one complicated cocktail, but I'm really excited. And once again, since this is a very spirit-forward cocktail, we have a lot of different components in here. I'm actually going to stir this for quite a long time, so that way we are adding a lot of dilution, but also tying all of these ingredients together. And there we have it, our take on the Corpse Reviver number 1. Cheers. Let's go ahead and taste it, shall we? That's delicious. That is very good. This one is a little bit more sweet. It has a little bit more weight to the palate, but also the bitters definitely cuts through that, and it finishes off dry. But the complexity of this cocktail versus the original is very, very different. Now, this one here is a classic for a reason, right? The ingredients are simple, but it creates a really delicious cocktail. Now, this one here, like I said, is a lot more complex. The ingredients by themselves, there's 7 different ingredients, and they all add up to create something a little bit different and special. They're both very good, but very different. So there we have it. We have made the Corpse Reviver number 1. We've talked about its cocktail family structure, and then we've used that cocktail family structure to make our own fun and delicious version, which I highly recommend that you try. Now, you may have noticed some really cool barware throughout this entire video, and you can find all of it over at shop.abarabove.com. We're pretty excited that we just launched the rest of the black lineup just in time for the holidays. So we will have some more cocktail videos for you in the future. Hit the like, subscribe, and the bell icon, and you will get notified whenever that does happen. Until then, I hope you are enjoying your favorite version of the Corpse Reviver number 1. Cheers.